All right, so I told you guys last night we were end up watching mentorship. I went live on TikTok right after. Told you guys I was, and then I can't remember if I just did this on TikTok or not. But I told you guys to just watch the pre-market highs and lows. Let's just get that up here. Let's do it on SPY real quick. And we barely broke that. So we were talking about this, and we talked about it being a chop. So just watch the break above or below here. Got a fake out here. Again, we barely got above that. Came right back down. Ultimately kind of closed the day up. But after that, all we did today was just chop and go sideways. I'm surprised we even faded this thing up a little bit. Tomorrow's news is we got retail sales and jobless claims. So that'll all be 1 hour before the market opens. I think that will move things more than CPI. So I'm actually hoping. I'm still in my puts. I still hope everything is bearish. I hope they come out and just say everything sucks. If I'm being honest. So I have to watch a rejection out of this zone right here. The thing is, though, is we jumped up, hit that zone, sold off. Jumped up, hit that zone, sold off, not as much. Jumped up, hit that zone. You see how we're just exhausting all sellers right here? We got here. Buyers were so quick to let it go. Sellers went short. We did it again. There's a few people still there. And now it's like the few sellers that just didn't get the memo that we're done. So anytime I see that, I got to say, even though I am biased to the downside, I just hope it sells off. When I see this price action, that's what makes me think we're about to just gear this thing up for the next leg up, kind of looking at something like that, breaking it up, to which would be a pretty significant move to the upside. We are going to have to draw out another zone. There's a speed bump zone right here, so we'll hang out there. As far as the puts that I have, it's risk and capital, so they're going to go to zero. I'm not trying to stop out or anything like that. They either, again, 0 to hero. They either make me money or they don't. As far as the S&P goes, we got right to the expected move. We drew that out on Sunday, and then just pulled back. So as far as market makers are concerned, we are still well within our means. No one's actually had to do anything. So we're good there. These pink lines right here are a weekly range. So last week, actually 2 weeks ago, we had sold off. Now we gapped down, came right back above, and so we're still kind of in this range. And that's what I was talking about last night, was just for the bears. If you're bearish, then you absolutely hope we don't break this range to the top side, because at that point, there's just going to be no excuse for the bears. Your bearish case scenario is going to be we finish the year and that's the high, and this is the low for the year. As far as trading goes, there's a lot of money to be made in that kind of range, but we might just finish the year off up a couple months, down a couple months, and just playing some games like that. But that's like your bearish case scenario if we break this to the top. I just don't think we break this up. I guess we could hit this wick and come back down, but we really break this thing up. What excuse do you have outside of literal nukes going off that we're going to just make a new low? Someone out there will be talking about it. Fear-mongering does drive a lot of clicks, but I just don't. I think that would just be off the table for me. At that point, I think just because of election year, we'll have to just wait till next year to even worry about anything selling off. And at that point, if it's just more green candles than red, we're just going to play the charts, and we'll just be bullish until things turn around. The NASDAQ getting above this yellow zone right here was where I thought if we were going to put in a lower high, it was going to be this zone. And we got above it, and we are holding above it. So today's news just dropped us down into the zone, snapped it right back up. You saw me in main chat say I should have just deleted this zone. Tired of that thing being in the way. The only thing this is putting pressure on is my NVIDIA sold calls. So I need the NASDAQ to melt down. Again, I'm not going to let any of the shares go, but it looks like I'll be rolling. Again, probably Friday morning, unless we had something crazy happen on Thursday. All right, as far as the expected move on the NASDAQ, still well within our range. Technically got just outside of it, reined it back in. So, I don't actually, let's bring up the 2 standard deviation. Shout out to Steve for making this, because I don't want to make it a habit, but I just forgot to chart this out this week. All right, so 2 standard deviations high, 477.82. All right, let's grab another one, 477.82. That seems, what's the first high? 464.12. We're 3 cents off. That just seemed a little bit wider. Okay. Man, I don't know what would cause a vacuum up like that other than retail and jobless claims come out and everybody's just happy. Everyone's excited. Then at that point, there is a zone up here on the NASDAQ. We're going to be right up here at this blue zone. So for anybody in covered calls, you're probably for sure in management mode. You'll be rolling those out. And again, I'm going to roll it up 1 strike in 1 week. They will still be in the money, but I'm just going to go up from 1 strike and over. As far as the Russell goes, Russell still just kind of jacking around. I need everything else to do this. Sent it up, but came right back, ultimately holding that back down here. I got to say, as far as the Russell goes, I'm not taking this trade, but that's honestly, if you're trading the Russell futures, might not be a bad long trade. This one, I would say, takes about 3 brain cells to take because you would just go long here. You would put your stop below. I'm going to go below this red wick. I like to just give it the wicks below the zones. Now, realistically, you would have to worry about it right here. Now, you're risking, 0.8 to make 1.2. Every YouTuber is going to tell you it's not their magical risk to reward ratio. You know, everyone likes a 1 to 20 or a 1 to 4, whatever, dream world. You would probably want to worry about that zone. But other than that, I would realistically think that the take profit, if we were to break above, I do think we get to that yellow zone. At that point, you're risking almost 1 to 3, just shy. But that's kind of the setup I would take right now. Wouldn't want it if it broke that any lower.